Good morning, guys. Sorry about that. I know we said 7 o'clock, just a little bit of delay, but full transparency.
Yes, yeah.
Little technical issues we're working through, but it is okay. We're sticking with you guys through 9 o'clock, giving you everything you need to know right here on GMSA Plus.
Yeah, and remember, you could download the KSAT Plus app on your smart TV. You can get us on all of your streaming platforms, ksat.com there as well. Obviously, we've been following the latest with the weather that we're seeing now. We are expecting some heavy, kind of that cold rain to make its way later on to the San Antonio area, but further north, I mean, they're going to be dealing with some pretty tough conditions out there.
Yeah, so we're asking everybody, just pay attention closely to what we're covering. I know some people might be quick to jump in the email category or be all feisty like, you guys are telling us one thing, something else happened. No, weather changes, obviously. And again, we're not meteorologists, and unless you went to school like Justin and Mia, listen to them.
Absolutely.
Speaking about listening to them, let's go right out to our man with a plan. He's the one that's been on top of this for several hours now. Justin, how are things looking?
Hey there, guys. Can't hear you, but here's what we're looking at as we look across the state. And yes, we are preparing for a cold rain this afternoon. That's going to be the big story as we get later into today. But the radar right now is showing that we have some good freezing precipitation across parts of North Texas up towards Dallas, San Angelo back down towards Fort Stockton, and you get some snow as you get up towards parts of North Texas. So notice that down here, there's not much going on. We've had a quiet morning commute. That's what we expect for several more hours. There is some rain out across parts of the coast. And real quick, I'm going to flip a switch over here so we can, there we go, make it a little more quiet in here. There is a look at a little closer view of where we are, and you get up towards Ozona and San Angelo, and yes, there is some freezing precipitation up here. We're talking freezing rain and some sleet in some cases. Some of this is going to work into the hill country next couple of hours. Temperatures are very marginal. We expect minor impacts, but it is something I want to watch. And what we can do here, this is on the national radar. I'm going to switch radar sites for you. And we're going to get hooked up with the radar out near Brackettville so we can get a little better idea. So we're starting to see some of this work its way into Verde County, again, moving a little bit closer to the Junction area. Anytime you see that pink color, that's probably freezing rain that we're dealing with. And we're starting to see a little bit develop west of Del Rio. We'll keep an eye on that. But as the day wears on, you're going to see a lot more develop here around San Antonio. Again, not freezing here, but as you get into the hill country, there may be a little bit of that. Let's look at the KSAT 12-hour forecast, and I'll walk you through it hour by hour. 9 a.m., just a 30% chance of rain here, 40 degrees. Then as we get towards midday, 80% chance of rain, 38, and then 100% chance of rain by the afternoon. Temperatures will come down a little bit. We think 37 by the afternoon. The rain tends to drag the temperatures down a little bit, but that's what we're expecting. And you're going to see this through dinner time, probably into the overnight hours. It'll take until midnight for a lot of this to start to subside. So let's look at the futurecast. And this is one of our pretty reliable computer models. So I think it has a pretty good grasp on the situation. But by 10 o'clock, it does show some of that activity coming out of West Texas and moving into the hill country with some spotty freezing rain mixing in there. And by the way, we have crews in Kerrville, so we'll be keeping a close eye on that situation. Impacts, we believe, will be minor. But by noontime, rain from the south begins to spread in around San Antonio, and then it just becomes widespread by the afternoon. And in fact, I think during the evening hours, we could see some pockets of heavy rain, maybe even a few rumbles of thunder. It's just that dynamic of a system. We could also pick up some really good rainfall totals out of all of this. This is 10 p.m. tonight. Does show maybe a little bit of snow on the backside of this. It would be a few flakes that would mix in, and the impacts again would be minimal for places like Junction and Kerrville and Fredericksburg, but we do need to mention that. By tomorrow morning, this all gets out of here, and we're going to see clouds stick around for a little while, but we should see clouds eventually clear out by tomorrow afternoon. Ice impacts. We think up to a 1/10 of an inch of ice is possible in the whole country, but this is going to be minor or limited when you're talking about impacts. So bridges, overpasses, street signs, decks, etc. And I would say probably the less traveled bridges and overpasses would be what we'd watch. Otherwise, here in San Antonio, notice there are no impacts from any sort of wintry weather, as we've been saying. It's all cold rain, but it adds up to maybe an inch or more here around San Antonio, which is something we need. This is a good soaking rain. I think there's going to be some benefits from this. You go east of San Antonio, we could pick up over an inch, maybe up to 2 inches. West of town, you're looking more on the order of 1/2 inch to an inch. There are winter weather alerts that do include the hill country, but as we showed you, really the impacts here are pretty minimal. The further north you go, though, the more issues you run into. There are winter storm warnings. That's this pink color from Dallas to Texarkana, and that's where they could see up to 4 inches of snow. So if you're traveling up I-35 to go to the Cotton Bowl, know that you'll start to run into some of that wintry weather around Waco, and then it really kicks in once you get into the Metroplex. There could be some slick spots for sure up there. Let's take a look at the extended forecast now. 37 again today, steady rain from midday to midnight. 44 tomorrow, windy, clearing, and then we do get a freeze Saturday morning, 29. 56 on Saturday, 60 on Sunday. So a nice warm up once we get into the weekend, and then we'll get more clouds and some rain chances next week. But that's kind of the main story today, is that cold rain that'll be setting in this afternoon, guys.
All right, thanks so much, Justin. Okay, so here's the best part about GMSA Plus. On KSAT Plus, obviously we're streaming. We get to go directly to your comments, see who's watching, see what you have to say.
Yeah.
Fortunately, everybody's being nice to us this morning.
That is nice.
You know, like I said, we like
never
that.
know where those comments are going.
Right, but it's healthy conversation. So for right now, I'm looking at YouTube right now. We got 97 people, so good morning to everybody who has us plugged up. I want to get to Jacqueline Alvarez. She says, good morning. Eric S., he comes in, he's saying he's sending prayers to people in California.
Absolutely,
obviously, we've been covering that. That's been an extreme thing. I know somebody came in, I know Joanne Mira, I think I'm saying your name correctly. She's concerned about why aren't they closing all the schools, saying her expectations is that things are supposed to be bad. They have closed one so far, I think. Like, what's the latest? I know we've been following this.
Comfort ISD, obviously a little bit out of the metropolitan San Antonio area. That is an ISD that is being affected with some delays and cancellations. Also, Crystal City ISD as well. Now, they sent out that messaging a couple of days ago. So, but locally, yes, Joanne, sorry to all the kids out there, but all of our major school districts here, we are in full session today. And again, I'm not the expert on this stuff, but my guess is that we didn't see any rain really overnight, so we're not going to see it till later on this noon. Now, of course, those things can possibly change, but for the most part, kiddos, y'all gotta go to school. I mean, y'all just had a long holiday break.
Right, but and the thing is, it's also important to note that I know if those do come in, if we do get closures, we'll be the first one to tell you about it. We got it on our website, KSAT.com. Of course, you can sign up for alerts. We'll be up to date with all that good stuff. I also want to say good morning to Candy, Alex, Isis, or excuse me, EC, there you go. Sorry, I'm messing your names up, guys. Either way, shout out to everybody who is watching us right now. And of course, we're going to got so much more to get to you guys, but thanks so much watching us on GMSA Plus.
Absolutely. So right now, again, we're on KSAT Plus, GMSA Plus. Coming up after this very short break, you know, we've had a couple of our crews out and about. John Paul Barajas has been out in Kerrville with the latest out there in the Hill Country, and also Patty Santos is going to be checking in from New Braunfels. She's out there at Bucky, so I did like her assignment this morning. But yeah, they're definitely going to give us an update on everything going on weather-wise.
And you guys keep tuning in because I want to get to more of your comments. If you got any questions specifically about anything, let us know because we're following this chat live. We'll be here and through 9 a.m. So you're stuck with us, and we got a lot of information to get to. So again, as he mentioned, live coverage all across the area. We'll be right back with live hits from JP. Morning, welcome back, GMSA Plus. We are right here bringing you guys that live coverage again, off air on KSAT Plus, where you stream us. And by the way, I want to give a shout out, give some love to Sabrina. She watches us. Big Al Williams,
Big Al, okay.
Phoenix, Arizona.
All right.
She's out and about it. Obviously, we got to give some love to Laura Tucker. She says, good morning, safe travels out there, and have a blessed day. So that's something we're trying to push along, spread that juju to everybody.
Awesome. All right. Big Al out there in Phoenix. Appreciate you hanging out with us and all of our viewers that are watching us right now on GMSA Plus. So we did mention before we went on that break that we do have John Paul Barajas. He is out in Kerrville. He's been there since last night, obviously just dealing with these cold conditions. Let's go ahead and check in with John Paul right now and see how things are going out there in the Hill Country.
So far, things are looking pretty good. We're in front of Peterson Plaza here in Kerrville, and photojournalist Matthew Craig and myself have been here since yesterday afternoon, and throughout that time, nothing significant to report. And at this hour, no signs of any ice and no reports of any hazardous road conditions. The Kerrville Fire Chief Eric Maloney just sent me a text message minutes before this live stream, and he says that there was no incidents overnight and that city crews, the city streets department, did start treating some of the streets here in town around 5 o'clock this morning, mainly the bridges in the area. The city streets department told me It's mainly a precautionary measure that they're going to monitor the weather going forward, but they don't think there's going to be anything of significance or significant impact. So we are benefiting from the shift in the forecast, and this is a low impact event out here. But because the Hill Country is no stranger to cold weather events, they've also said that this is a good trial run for them. But also it's important to note, as the rain chances increase over the next couple of hours, it's also going to be important to stay in tune with KSAT or even the KSAT weather app. For now, we'll toss it back to you in the studio. RJ and Japhanie.
Stay warm out
yes,
there.
Yeah, you got to layer up during these colder weather conditions. And yeah, we've seen JP with us since 4:30 this morning. So we got JP with us on GMSA. Yeah, definitely glad to have JP and of course our photojournalist Matt Craig out there with us.
Definitely. And something else that's cool is that Patty is actually at my favorite gas
there you go.
station,
Yes.
you want to call it that. Buc-ee's. She's been handling everything out that way, kind of giving us a rundown of what's
Absolutely. I know she's been focused a lot on how to make sure that your vehicle is okay if you are going to be traveling up north. We got a lot of Longhorn fans, Longhorns that are going to be going up to Dallas for the Cotton Bowl. So let's check in with Patty right now out there in New Braunfels. Good morning, Patty.
This morning, we're really focused on how this extreme cold can really impact our vehicles. This is something that you're going to want to take care of this morning, maybe before that rain starts to come in later this afternoon. First of all, let's talk about the tire pressure. That can really be impacted. You might need to fill up the air on those tires, especially if you start seeing that light popping up. We also want to talk about antifreeze. You're going to want to top that off to make sure you're in tip-top shape in the vehicle. And we're also talking about the battery life. If your car's battery is older than 3 years, this could cause you some problems during this cold weather. You could actually take it to some auto part zones and they'll be kind enough to check it out for you. And if you need to replace it, you might want to replace it before you get stuck on the side of the road. Now, anyone that is driving north along I-35, maybe heading north of Waco, where the wintry mix is going to be a little bit more than what we're going to see here in the San Antonio area, you're going to want to drive with a lot of caution. Make sure that both hands are on the steering wheel. You're going to want to take it slow, and you're going to want to ease up on that brake. If you hit a sliding patch, just start steering. Don't brake so harshly. These are all things that hopefully you'll be safe out on the road, but we have more information on how to stay safe on KSAT.com. We also have a link to TxDOT where you can check out the road conditions before you go. We'll send it back to you guys.
All right, thanks so much, Patty. And of course, we got to get to cutting program real quick. Before we do that, we got to hit up that roadway.
Just want to give you an update from TxDOT. Of course, Patty is up there, I-35. So let's check in on some local highways here. I-35 north at O'Connor Road. Do have a crash there. One main lane block there and the shoulder. Everything else is looking okay across the city. I-35 north at O'Connor Road. Now, keep in mind, we might still have some construction going on right now because maybe these crews are trying to get things finished up before we are expected to get some of that heavy cold rain coming to the San Antonio area.
Yeah, so again, if you are out and about with us, hopefully you got us plugged into your Bluetooth. We're looking at you guys live chatting right now on YouTube. ISIS actually came in and said that I pronounced it correctly.
Okay,
said it's the first time. She says Isis, like the Egyptian goddess of love.
I was going to say, I know it's a god. It's some, there you go. Okay, Egyptian. There you go. Okay,
Either way, thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll be right back. Again, we're going to cut into program real quick, but we'll be back at 8 o'clock.
Absolutely. For more GMSA Plus on KSAT Plus, take us with you wherever you go. Hopefully you guys stay safe out there, but we will be right back.